Hi everyone, today's video is going to be a Q&A. I realized that I asked you on Instagram many moons ago for some questions for a Q&A, and I answered a few of them in my head and then I just never filmed it, so that's obviously not helpful. So today we're going to do just like a general catch-up Q&A. These are the questions. So there are 20 questions, so I'm going to try to do this not quickly, but not lengthy. Question 1, moving out of London, out of England, moving to Canada, A lot of people are wondering what my living situation is gonna be like. And obviously you have seen by now probably my vlog about getting my British citizenship. Yeah, I've decided to get my British citizenship. I don't have any plans to move back to Canada. I love Canada, I miss Canada, but I've lived in England for I have lived in England for 10 years, which is insane. That's a long time. So I've spent my entire 20s, my formative years in England. So, you know, I had a little bit of a mental breakdown on the weekend. I got drunk and started talking about, I don't know where home is. But I think it's something that a lot of people experience when they move somewhere new. You know, it's like, where is home? Well, home is right here in the soul. But sometimes it's like, no, literally, like, where is home? So, yeah, I guess for me, home is London. I've got a life here, I got a dog here, and I can't think of anywhere else I'd rather live. Question 2, what have you learned about yourself this year? Quite a hell of a lot, if I'm being honest. It's been a long year. It's been a long decade, if I'm being totally honest with you. It's been a long time. I think something that applying for my citizenship has really brought up for me is how much I have actually changed. It's brought up a lot of feelings of, you know, who I was when I first moved here 10 years ago to who I am now. And newsflash, I've been through a lot of things and I've changed a lot, as anybody in 10 years would. Yeah, it's a lot, and it's a lot to process, and it's a lot just to like think about. You know, time flies. When I had my 30th birthday and I had like a lot of those feelings, it's because a lot of the feelings are being brought up, and I'm acting weird, but it's like, it's a lot, you know? So the question was, what have you learned about yourself this year? I think it's more been about like this decade. Like, oh Lord. But this year specifically, I've really learned about being by myself, processing things. I've learned a lot about communication. I hate communicating. No, I don't. I just find it a little bit tricky sometimes. And I will say, I think I've learned a lot about my inner strength. You know, going through a pandemic very far away from your family is really difficult, and it does take a lot of inner strength. I don't think I have ever felt so far away from my family as I have this year. I actually have not been home in 2 years. So it's been hard. It's been very hard, but you know, we move. We're resilient. This is how it goes. Question 3, how are you? But how are you really? Well, I would say, I wouldn't say I'm hanging by a thread, but I am a little stressed. I feel a little overwhelmed. I feel a lot of pressure, you know, in and around this area. Sometimes I find myself like trying to breathe, you know, chill, if that makes sense. I feel sometimes my breathing's a little bit shallow. It's like anxiety breathing. And I don't know why, but I think it's like a billion reasons, like everybody. So how am I? I'm I. How is it living alone during a pandemic, and how does it contribute to self-love? I kind of touched on it before, but yeah, like, it's tough. It is really tough. I think in a way, the living alone during a pandemic thing hasn't hit me as hard as maybe some other people, because I'm very used to being alone, working alone, and I also just enjoy being alone. So it hasn't actually been as hard as what I think some people might think. Plus I have F-Dog. F-Dog is insane. So, you know, she keeps me very occupied. But I am comfortable alone. I'm actually the most comfortable when I am alone. So the problem for me is that I've liked it too much. Now it's like the reintegration into society, I'm finding it a lot more difficult because I do actually like being alone. Oh, don't get me wrong. Sometimes I am a little bit on the lonely side, but you know, it passes, and you have to take these opportunities as learning experiences. And I just try to do things that maybe I don't want to do. Like maybe I don't feel like doing yoga, but then I just do it because I know it's going to make me feel better. I try to do things that I know are good for me. Is Effie doing better? Effie is doing better than when I got her almost a year ago. Yes, she is doing better. Effie is an extreme case of anxiety, to the point that every behaviorist that I've ever spoken to, I say we've, as in like me and Effie have spoken to, but every behaviorist or like expert that has seen Effie has acknowledged that she's an extreme case of anxiety. She is special needs. She is not your average little doggy. She needs a lot of extra support. It's been really tough. I'm not going to cry. I've cried so many times about it, but you know, it's been very difficult. It's been definitely the most difficult thing that I've ever done is adopt Effie. And I love her so much, but it has been very, very hard. She's doing a lot better since I got my car because she loves going in the car to the forest. She doesn't actually like being in the car, but once we get there, she's like, oh my God, there's no people and there's a forest. That's like in my head what she sounds like. So I'm figuring out ways to help improve Effie's progress. She is doing better, but she is by no means a like normal dog. That is for sure. What do you miss most about Canada? When are you going back? Obviously my family. I just miss all the little moments, you know. I miss like, you know, being there for things that are happening in my family's lives, you know. I've missed a lot of things because I'm not there day to day. I'm dying to go home. I think I'm going to go home for Christmas if I'm allowed. So we'll see. Single, taken, how's the love life? Wouldn't you just like to know? I must say, there were quite a few questions on this subject. And in a way, I'd love to tell you. But in another way, and a lot of you know this, I made a promise to myself to have very strict boundaries about my personal romantical life. And I've explained this so many times before, but I had an extremely traumatic experience with the last, you know, breakup that I spoke about online, because it was just so invasive, the comments and the messages, and even like all of the love about it was just like so overwhelming to me that I realized that there are certain personal relationships that I just can't share. It was so difficult, and that's one of my personal boundaries. So I'd love to talk about it, but I think for my own self and my own sanity, I just can't talk about it one way or the other. I hope you understand. I know that you do. A lot of people have said that, but that's just my decision in this life. I know. It sucks. Oh, but I will say that I'm definitely feeling good. Like, I went through a really, like, the word isn't like shock, but, you know, after you get out of a long relationship, you are I'll just put it this way, I was a mess. I was a straight up mess. And, you know, it's been a while now, so I will say that I'm definitely evened out and I feel really good. Dating apps, question mark? What about them? No, a lot of people were just like asking if I've ever used dating apps. Yes, of course I've used dating apps. How the hell are you supposed to meet people in this world? well, especially now. I think dating apps are amazing. I think they're great tools to meet people, so I'm all for them. Next question, how is the tarot journey? I love tarot, and I recommend it to everybody, and nobody necessarily has to like listen to what I say, but I have personally found it not so much as a tool of like predicting the future or anything like that. It's more of like ways to learn more about yourself, I would say. Use it as a tool to see like what comes up for you. And I use it in conjunction with journaling to really like help me figure out what I'm really feeling. So I love tarot. And if you don't know anything about tarot, the best thing to do is just like go on YouTube and search it and figure out your sign and all that stuff. Like I said, I don't really like live my life by it, but I definitely feel like I'd be lost without it, in the sense of like I enjoy it and I find it comforting. 3 favorite pieces from your new Daisy collection. Well, I think I'll just talk about the pieces I'm wearing today. I'm wearing my Wavy snake chain, which as you can see just catches the light so beautifully. It's like crimped almost. And this is just like my classic snake chain. This is my short snake. Love it. And I'm wearing my new box chain earrings, which are glorious. And I've got my new chain rings on as well. So have a look in the description box. We may or may not have a Black Friday sale going on. Tips for mental health during the pandemic. Well, I know more than anybody that there are ebbs and flows. Whew. My lows are low. My highs are average. Let's just put it that way. I have always had mental health struggles. So, I mean, I really see how it's getting a lot worse for people right now. It's definitely been a lot worse for me because you can't do the things that you're used to doing to help you blow off steam. I mean, when you're alone all the time at home thinking about life, well, no freaking wonder we've all got anxiety. I'm just saying, like, it's a lot to really compute. So I think the first thing is just like accepting that it's, you know, it's okay to have anxiety. It's like a normal reaction to, you know, what's happening in the world. I think if you didn't have anxiety, I would be like, is anybody home? Like, it's very stressful. The reason I say that is because I actually listened to a podcast. It was the Lush episode of How I Built This, which is one of my favorite podcasts. And that's kind of what the Lush founder was saying. He's like, I would find it weird if somebody didn't have anxiety. You know, you look at the news, you look at this, it's like, you know, everything is on all the time. Ugh. That's like a little insight into how I feel and how I think a lot of people feel. So what was the question? Any tips? Talking about it, journaling helps me a lot. Physical exercise, as annoying as that sounds, like it helps. Anything to get you out of your head. Get outside, get into nature. All of these things. Talk to a friend. I find that helps a lot too. How do you feel about aging naturally? What are your thoughts on Botox? Well, everything on me is drooping. Not really, but I'm definitely noticing like things happening. And I have nothing against Botox or anything else that anybody decides to do. If that's your thing, like, do it. I could definitely see myself wanting to get Botox at some point, and I would not care what anybody thought about it. I actually have not had any Botox as of yet. I would definitely consider it, but I think for now I'm like really focusing on like the facial massage and like all the serums, all the moisturizers. Favorite home decoration online store? That's an interesting question. I think I get a lot of questions about interior design and just like my home style in general. I am going to be starting a new section on my website, which is esteelalonde.com. I don't even know if it's even launched yet. By the time this is up, it should be up. So, and that's like me yelling at myself to be like, write those blog posts. And there's going to be an interior section. I think your home should be a mix of like, you know, chic, but very comfortable. And I always like to have like all my little trinkets and stuff around as well. So my favorite home decoration online store, you know, I'm just going to say H&M Home is lit. Like they have tons of good stuff. you don't always have to break the bank to have like a cool home style, I think. How did you get into running? And what was your running journey like? Well, first of all, I would say I'm not into running. I don't like running. And my running journey is going nowhere fast. Woo, that was a slap in the face because I've been like really thinking about it. Basically, I did start running during the first lockdown, and it was so incredible for me to realize that I can do things that I didn't think I could do. And if you do push, you can succeed in like all those like things. And just like physically, it was a boundary. I didn't think I could ever be able to run for 30 minutes straight. Like that is not me. But that's the thing. Why isn't it me? Why am I limiting myself? But truly, like naturally, I'm not a runner. That could come as a shock to some of you. I'm not a runner, and I really don't enjoy it. I enjoy the feeling afterwards, but it's not really a sustainable form of exercise for me because, you know, shopping is my cardio, that sort of vibe. So basically, I need to figure out what I'm going to enjoy as far as home exercise. I really want to start doing bar, and I can't obviously go to like a bar class, but I found some online classes of like bar workouts that I'm going to try to start doing at home. Favorite food / cuisine? Well, I am so hungry right now. If I could eat anything in the world right now, it would probably be some really good Mexican food. Gotta say. And London, I love you, but we are seriously lacking in the Mexican flavor over here. The guacamole tastes like water. It's insane. Like we just don't really have like good Mexican here. It's really weird. I know there are some places, so don't at me, but it's not like, you know, in LA when it's like everywhere you go, it's like amazing Mexican. How's driving and the car going? I love the car. I really wish I got the car sooner. F-Dog loves it, like I said earlier, and it has given me a whole new sense of freedom. Personally, if I did not have Effie, I would not have a car. There is no need to have a car. But since getting the car, I want to drive everywhere. Like, I don't know. It's so great to be able to drive to places because I'm going places I've never been before. Like, we went to Epping Forest, which is in Essex. Never been there. If I didn't have a car, I would not have been able to get there. Well, I don't know what the transportation is like, but it's just like not something I would really do. But now that I have the car, it's like jump in the car, bring a little thermos of soup, put the dog in the back, go to the forest, walk around the forest, get back in the car, put on a podcast, drive back home. Amazing. So I really love the car, and driving is going well. I'm actually a good driver. I think a lot of people might think I'm not a good driver. I don't know. Maybe I'm giving off that vibe, but so far no accidents. So pretty good. I love that that's like my idea of good driver. No accidents yet. If you weren't a YouTuber, what would you be instead? I would like to say a teacher, but I am not patient at all, and I'm very bad at teaching things, so that is definitely not going to be what I would be. I think I would probably have wanted to be like in some sort of like magazine editing or something like that. I always thought that was like a very cool job. I never did anything to really like go for that. I studied psychology in university, did not get my degree, but just a few credits shy. Something maybe in like therapy, that sort of thing. But I wouldn't think that's a good one for me because I'm the one who needs therapy. But they do say that the best therapists need therapy. They say everybody needs therapy. I don't know. What other cities would you like to visit? Well, it's not like a city, but I would love to go to Australia. Lately, I don't know why, all I'm thinking about is Australia. I want to go to Australia, and I want to go to New Zealand. I want to do that area. So hopefully I can go one day and see you guys in Australia. And my last question is, top 5 places in London, could be anywhere, restaurant, cafe, spa. Now that is hard because I don't leave my flat even in non-COVID times. I'll give you some things I like about London. Walking around Soho in the evening, getting some drinks in you and feeling all the feelings. Boom. Saturday morning going to a local farmer's market or something like that. Like I love Maltby Street Market in Bermondsey. Love doing that on a Saturday. Love getting a facial. at Sarah Chapman in Sloane Square. Makes me feel bougie, and I love it. I love going to Glow Bar and going for the sauna. I love the little sauna experience you have there. Getting a chai latte and a little bit of like avocado on toast, and they do like a special hummus there. It's so good. And I would say that I love walking around in Liberty if I want to do some shopping. There's just nothing better. I love it so much. Right, well, that was quite a few questions. Some other interesting facts about my current life you might want to hear about. I'm obsessed with The Crown. Like, words don't even explain. I'll talk to anyone about The Crown. I'm loving podcasts again since getting the car. Like, I have all the time to, listen to podcasts. Loving podcasts. And I did some cooking the other day. You will not believe it. I made some parsnip soup. I posted on my Instagram in my recipes highlight. So check my recipes highlight. Really easy. I can make it, so you can make it. But yeah, I'm actually feeling good, It's winter time, so, it's never going to be amazing. It's not my favorite season. The sun is being low key, you could say. But all is well. I hope you are having an amazing week so far and feeling good. And I hope this video felt like a hug from me. And I'll see you soon. Bye.